Hi guys, and welcome to today's video. In today's video, we're gonna see how we can switch back and forth between the ARM instruction encoding mode and the thumb encoding mode, and how this interworking concept has been supported by old ARM architectures and no more supported by the current Cortex-M microprocessor families. And we'll finalize today's video by a demo running on STM32 microcontroller to show in real life example how to switch back and forth between the ARM and thumb instruction encoding mode. So guys, we have seen in previous video that ARM has the support of two sets of instructions, ARM instruction sets and thumb1 instruction sets. ARM consists of 32 bits based instructions and thumb1 consists of 32 bits based instructions. Then later on, ARM has introduced what is called thumb2 based instructions. Thumb2 is just a mix between 32 bits instructions and 16 bits instructions. And thumb2 is supported only by the ARM Cortex-M microprocessors families. Interworking, in terms of concept, consists of switching back and forth between this ARM encoding mode and the thumb1 encoding mode. Hence, there is no need actually of this interworking concept in Cortex-M microprocessor. Basically, the ARM Cortex-M microprocessor is running always in thumb2 encoding mode. So there is no need actually to switch back and forth between thumb2 and ARM. All instructions are considered thumb2, whether it is 16 bits or 32 bits. However, in older architectures, where we had only the support of ARM-based instruction and thumb1 only based instruction, there has been a need actually to switch back and forth between the ARM encoding style and the thumb1 encoding style. Hence, if the processor is executing 32-bit instructions, then it will be running on ARM state. And if it is executing 16-bit instruction, then it will be running on thumb1 state. Now, to trigger this switch back and forth between the ARM and thumb1, there has been a set of instructions that are allowing basically this switch. One of those instructions is branch with exchange. In ARM state, we can use branch with exchange using basically this format. Hence, the destination address will be within this destination register, RN. However, if we are in thumb state, then we can use basically this format. The major difference basically is this set of conditions that are supported in ARM state. And we can understand this by the fact that this instruction can be encoded in 32 bits. Hence, we can have more rooms actually for conditions. However, in thumb state, the instruction will be executed as 16-bit instructions. So we don't have more rooms basically for conditions flag. Now, if we are triggering a switch from ARM state to thumb state, then the destination register must contain basically a destination address, and this address must have bit number 0 set to 1. Hence, if we execute a branch with exchange to a destination address stored within this register, and this destination address has bit number 0 set to 1 within this register, then the CPU will switch automatically to thumb state and will start executing, of course, from this address. The bit number 0, of course, will be cleared once we start executing from that address. Hence, the bit 0 is always used as a way to distinguish between jumping to ARM state or thumb state. Now, if we are in thumb state and we are executing branch with exchange to a destination register that has a destination address with bit number 0 cleared, then the CPU will automatically switch to ARM state, as you can see here. Now, if we are in ARM state, then we do a branch with exchange to an address that has bit number 0 cleared, then we remain in ARM state. And the same case is applicable as well for thumb state. If we do a branch with exchange to a destination address that has bit number 0 set to 1, then the CPU will remain in thumb state. Now, in terms of instructions that allow this interworking between ARM and thumb state back and forth, besides this branch with exchange, we have the support as well of branch with link and exchange. Also explicit update of the program counter, whether via this LDM instruction if we are updating set of register out of the address stored within this register. Also a pop instruction that will update the program counter out of the stack. Also this LDR instruction that will update the program counter explicitly from the address stored within this register. All of those can trigger basically a switch back and forth between ARM and thumb state. This depends of course from the value or the content of the bit number 0 of the address that we are jumping to. If this bit is set to 1, then the CPU will jump to thumb state. If it is cleared or 0, then the CPU will switch to ARM state. BLX as well allow a jump or direct jump basically to a fixed address. Of course, it depends as well from the state of the bit number 0. Set to 1 will go to thumb state. Clear it or 0 will jump basically to ARM state. Again, I need to highlight the fact that this interworking concept basically is supported with old ARM architectures like ARM v4T or ARM7 and so on. In current ARM Cortex-M microprocessors families, this interworking concept has no effect because this CPU or Cortex-M will run always in thumb 2 encoding style. Hence, there is no need actually to switch back and forth between ARM and thumb state. So always be careful when we are referring basically the interworking with ARM Cortex-M. This is not supported. And if we try explicitly to trigger this switch between ARM and thumb state in a CPU that doesn't support it, this will lead to a fault. And we'll see basically this within a demo that will run on STM32 microcontroller. So guys, this is our Kyle MDK based project. The project is C based project and has been compiled for an ARM Cortex-M based platform. Our platform is an STM32 microcontroller, and right now the project has been compiled and the binary has been loaded into the target device. And we have started already a Kyle MDK based debug session. We are right now in reset ISR function and our device has already booted up. Now we'll try to jump to our system init function within the reset ISR handler. So we run and we are here. We are trying to perform a branch with link to the system init. If we do so, we're gonna see that the link register get updated with the return address right after the invocation of the system init. Hence, the CPU will use basically the content of this register as a way to jump back basically to the return address out of our system init function. Here, we are trying to perform a backup of the context of our program before we start executing our function. So far so good. We'll try now to speed up the execution and we'll jump to the end of our function here. So as you can see, we are performing a branch with exchange to the address contained within this link register. This address again, this is the return address. It means this is the address right after the invocation of this branch with link to the system init. And hence, if we branch to it, then we get out of our function and we return basically to this address part of our reset ISR handler. We can see obviously that the bit number 0 of this destination address is set to 1. And this matches basically the ARM Cortex-M specifications when it's come actually to the instruction encoding mode to be used. ARM Cortex-M does support only the thumb 2 encoding style. Hence, it doesn't support this interworking back and forth between the ARM state and thumb state. This interworking between ARM state and thumb state is supported in older ARM-based architectures like ARM v4T or ARM7. If we try to enforce the jump basically to ARM state by clearing the bit number 0, and then we perform this branch with exchange, then we are enforcing the ARM Cortex-M to jump to ARM state. However, the ARM state is not supported. This will lead, of course, to a hard fault. Now, if we try to execute the branch with exchange, then we jump out, and here we go. We are in hard fault. Again, this interworking between ARM and thumb state is not supported on Cortex-M microprocessor because the ARM state is not supported. It's only the thumb state that is supported. Hence, if we try for legacy region to enforce the jump to the ARM state, which is not supported obviously by the Cortex-M, this will lead, of course, to a hard fault.